the thing is, they own everything. They may not own the venue. It's not what you own, it's what you control. It's like the mafia. If they own a couple stores, great. But if you control the whole city, guess what? You control the whole city. So
Yeah.
these venues that are so-called independent, a majority of them, even state-owned ones, Live Nation owns them. They don't operate it, but they control them. It just came out in the DOJ trial. Think about this one. Independent promoter is throwing an event on at a stadium, a state-owned stadium. Let's say in Georgia. Actually, one of them's in there. State-owned stadium. Okay. Live Nation has nothing to do with it. You're putting on an event there, and any indie promoters listening should be interested to this, or artists. You're throwing a show, and now while you're doing that, Live Nation has nothing to do with it. For every ticket that you are selling, the venue, the state-owned venue, is forced to pay Live Nation $3 for every ticket. It's not even a tax. Think of a venue. Think of any business. Why does anybody want to pay somebody when the other party's not involved in it? It's not a business. It's a mafia. So you can't compete. You can't compete. That the numbers like that. Think of they recently in the hearing there in the DOJ trial. Same thing. An independent promoter has to pay rent to a stadium, and Live Nation's taking a cut of that rent when they're not involved in the event. How can
Absolutely.
anybody compete? So their
Yeah,
hands are in everything.
That's your
They run
profit.
every global tour. They run every single thing across the whole entire world. There's nothing their hands aren't in, and there's no escaping them.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Salty MF Go podcast. I'm Brad Banias. I'll be your host today, and we've got a great guest that's going to just tell his story. It's amazing. We've got Tommy D. Dorfman of Juice Entertainment, and Tommy's known as the man who took on Live Nation, and he's just got an incredible story. And I don't know if everyone knows about what's going on with the Department of Justice and the monopoly case against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, but our boy Tommy D has been living this for a long time. So welcome to the show, Tommy.
Brad, thanks a lot for having me on. Much appreciated. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, for those that everyone bitches about Ticketmaster and the cost of tickets. And so that's kind of what the fans, I think, know about that, right? Their tickets are ridiculous. What they don't really understand is how much Live Nation has an impact on local promoters, local event managers, and kind of why this kind of monopoly suit is going on. And you kind of lived that from 2011, where you were big in the EDM space. So take us back to you're getting ready to launch the largest kind of EDM event, right? In Meadow, right? And you tell us kind of what occurred and what happened and why we're here.
Yeah. So I did grow to the largest, with my team's hard work, to one of the largest promoters in the East Coast. I was a pioneer of EDM music. It was called house music before it was cool.
Yeah.
And I saw I was going to go mainstream. So I went to put on a concert. I signed a 10-year concert with the Meadowlands, MetLife Stadium. Any of your listeners or viewers don't know, that's the home to the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah.
Brand new $2 billion stadium. It's a little bit older now. That was back in 2011. I signed a 10-year festival to produce all concerts and festivals at the State Fair Meadowlands, the largest festival up there. My start off was EDM, as you said. I was putting on the largest EDM festival in the East Coast. We had everything in place. We had the talent in place. We had the staging in place. It was a turnkey operation. Support of the State Fair Meadowlands through the roof. Never had this much support in my whole career. And then Live Nation Entertainment found out about it and wiped it out, and that's why we're chatting here today.
Yeah, man, that's insane. And the more, you and I were talking a little bit before we got on, and we're kind of really new to the whole music scene, right? Doing stuff around helping artists and venues with a service we've built, but like we're new to it. So like we're finding the underbelly of like how this shit really works, right? And you're like, wow, like, so you've been at this for a while, with your case, almost now 14 years, right?
Almost 16 years now we're going on.
16 years. And then, so what did it feel like when the DOJ finally, got into this? I mean, because here you are, local promoter, events guy. You've been kind of fighting. I've heard people refer to it as David versus Goliath. I mean, for 16 years, like you got to have some tenacity and some grit, and that's what that's what we're all about, Salty. But more importantly is, when I see someone doing that, I know like, hey, this shit's real. Like people don't spend 16 years of their life, fighting something like this with, legal cost and court cost and all this stuff. So what was it elation? Was it just when this kind of started getting to this level, what was it like for you?
Well, to answer your first question, when the DOJ first filed the charges against Live Nation for them being a monopoly, and they were just found guilty of being a monopoly
Yep.
years past, my expert report was passed out by a late senator from New Jersey, Congressman Pascrell. He sent an expert report which alleges that Live Nation runs a criminal enterprise to Congress,
Yeah.
and the DOJ filed charges within a month later. So I was very excited when the DOJ originally first filed the charges, to answer that
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Well, man, I mean, it's funny because, we're in other areas of business, and it's a classic case of, the the giant corporate behemoths against, kind of everybody else. And when you start getting on their turf and you start making an impact like what you were doing at the Meadowlands, that was a pretty big deal. I mean, you're talking about a 10-year deal. It's a pretty big deal. And just the kind of tactics that they use to keep people out. And what are some of the things that you felt like when you first started saying like, shit, this is a bigger this is bigger than them just trying to block me. What was that moment?
Well, what that moment really was when I was sitting with their executives, the president of their company of New York, and then just I walk in the room and I say, "Hey, I've dealt with the mafia. I'm from New Jersey, so you fend off the mob up there, okay?
That's
15
that's
years. I was a pioneer of this business. I battled the mafia for 15 years, so I know how to deal with these people, and I never
that's
had to
right.
pay
Yeah,
them.
my partner's from Jersey, so I get it, man.
He
So yeah,
gets it, you know what I mean? That's where we're from, you know?
yeah,
But when I sat at that meeting, and I only took the meeting because the owner of the State Fair Meadowlands Outdoors, a great guy, told me that Live Nation met with him, blocking the festival, blocking all my talent, blocking all my tickets, bad mouthing me to the powers that could be and kicking me out. So I
yeah,
went in that meeting, and before I could say, "Hi, my name is Tommy," the mob gives you that courtesy. "We're going to blow you the fuck out of here. We're kicking you the hell out. There's loopholes in your contract. We're blocking all your talents from every talent agency. Hi, I'm Tom." Fuck you. This is our space. The Meadowlands is our space. 10,000 people involved. It's ours. You're
yeah,
out. Partner with us. Take our money. Do this or you're done.
yeah.
Um, so I think it was really quick, I noticed, and because I didn't even get to say my name is Tommy, nice to meet you. The
Yeah.
mob gives you that respect.
Yeah, hey, man. Yeah, well, so it wasn't a long drawn out. It was like, hey, you're gonna do what we want you to do or not. But well, what I found, kind of like I told you, we haven't been that close to this. We've just heard the chirping of ticket cost and all that. And there's several people. Kid Rock is real big about, Ticketmaster breaking that up. I mean, there's a lot of like artists and other people music that have been kind of saying this, but the fans, the people, everyday people that are buying the tickets, like really have no idea why are these costs so high? What's the reason? And when I looked up, and I think Live Nation has like 460 venues that they control, not only the events but the promotions worldwide, and they're the largest profitable, venues. So they've kind of got an advantage. It's obvious.
Yeah, and I think the one thing for people to understand, and you made a good point. I appreciate you doing the research on what they own, the data on their
Yeah,
venues. But the thing is, they own everything. They may not own the venue. It's not what you own, it's what you control.
yeah,
It's like the mafia. If they own a couple stores, great. But if you control the whole city, guess what? You control the whole city. So
yeah,
these venues that are so-called independent, a majority of them, even state-owned ones, Live Nation owns them. They don't operate it, but they control them.
Yeah.
It just came out in the DOJ trial. Think about this one. Independent promoter is throwing an event on at a state-owned stadium. Let's say in Georgia. Actually, one of them's in there. A state-owned stadium. Okay. Live Nation has nothing to do with it. You're putting on an event there, and any indie promoters listening should be interested to this, or artists. You're throwing a show, and now while you're doing that, Live Nation has nothing to do with it. Live for every ticket that you are selling, the venue, the state-owned venue, is forced to pay Live Nation $3 for every ticket. So if you do 1,000 people times the $3,
Yeah.
do the math right there.
Yeah.
$30,000 going into Live Nation's pocket for sleeping.
Yeah.
They're not involved in it at all. So
Absolutely.
they're
Like a
getting
music
paid.
tax.
Yeah, it's not even a tax. Think of a venue. Think of any business. Why does anybody want to pay somebody when the other party's not involved in it? It's
Right.
not a business, it's a mafia.
Yeah.
So you can't compete. You can't compete. That the numbers like that. Think of they recently in the hearing there in the DOJ trial, same thing. An independent promoter has to pay rent to a stadium, and Live Nation's taking a cut of that rent when they're not involved in the event. How can
Absolutely.
anybody compete? So their
Yeah.
hands are in everything.
That's your
They run
profit.
every global tour. They run every single thing across the whole entire world. There's nothing their hands aren't in, and there's no escaping them.
Yeah. That could be your profit for some of these things, right? And they're
You could
grabbing
be
that.
you could be losing the money on a show. You're the promoter. You're the artist. You pack out a 30,000 person arena. Expenses are a little high. Where do the venues have to charge rent,
Yep.
security, all these costs? Now, when you have to pay Live Nation $3 per head when they have nothing to do with the venue for your show, do the math on that. When they have to pay
Yeah.
$90,000 out,
Yeah.
the costs have to get increased, and
Well,
it gets it costs
that's a
them.
good revenue stream if you own 460 venues across, or you control or own. Let's say control or own. Let's say roughly, go up 500 venues across the world. That's a lot of free money.
Yeah, just think you're doing this podcast with me. Your competitor's getting paid, has to get paid
Yeah.
for doing this. It's not fair. You can find any business in the world. It's not a business. That's why it's a mafia control. The
Uh,
mafia won't even go this far. I've had
well,
I've had
well,
I've had
kudos to the
people.
mafia.
I've spoken to some of the main people in the mafia. I'm not involved in it, and they've literally said like, "Hey, this is Rico. We would never even go this far. We'd be in jail in 10 minutes, 15." I'm like, "What do you feel about this? 15 years, 10
Yeah.
years?"
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the one thing why it really caught our interest is because I told you before what we were doing with band groupies, which is really meant to find, local live music spots, that cool music venue that nobody knows about. It's not even maybe on the Live Nation radar, right? What we found though is in some of these smaller towns, like I don't know, Virginia areas, some other areas that the towns aren't actually huge, but they've got a big enough population and they've got a strong music community. They were saying that Live Nation's coming in and now looking at the smaller venues for ownership. A 3,000 seat and below, right? And so what that was doing from the promotion and event side to the local bars, the local kind of traditional live music venues we're going to get squeezed on that when they came in because they would be pulling, artists that traditionally might have showed up at this local place are now going to go to these venues. So I've heard a lot of uproar in that kind of lower end now. Are you hearing that or seeing that as well? Or
Yeah, absolutely. So when they wiped me out, at least they had made it very clear. Anything 10,000 people and above,
yeah,
their hands had to be in it or you were wiped out. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm hearing it from all the independents now. They're getting into the lower level club industry. They want it all. They're
yeah,
taking it all. So
yeah.
it's really controlled at every single level by Live Nation. And the independents really don't have much of a chance. And the artists that are trying to thrive and develop, many of them we don't even see because they're not developed by independent promoters.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, that was kind of the whole thing behind our band groupies service was to get those venues and artists found because, social media and all this shit, people hoping they're going viral. They're not. I mean, a rare case you do, you're sold that bullshit
True.
that, oh, you'll go viral, you'll be famous. And the reality is not. There's only a few people at the top that they're going to make good money on. They're going to continue to push those people. And there's a Jimi Hendrix or, whoever, Hank Williams Jr., right down the street from us, probably that's never going to get, the recognition or acknowledgement. So we kind of wanted to democratize that whole process and let you find people in a genre and say, wow, this guy's good. Let's get a ticket. Let's see him. So, yeah, it's interesting from our end because we did not know all this ticketing like stuff. We knew they were high, right? Everyone complained about it, but one of the things that's always interested me, and I mean, not to knock the Department of Justice, but they're always willing to make some kind of deal. Like you get a large payout, right? So I don't know what it was exactly, but say, yeah, your monopoly practices, we're going to fine you 260 million bucks, whatever it is, right? And that broke down to like $1.78 a ticket. Well, I mean, people aren't really, it really not doing anything for the consumer. I mean, I know that payout might make sense because that's been over millions, hundreds of millions of tickets, right? So you got to calculate some kind of fee or fine. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're paying $500 or $1,000 to go watch an artist is like absolutely, it's insane. It's insane. So
Yeah, it's bad. And the DOJ, just to mention that, they caved on the trial versus Live Nation. They settled. You actually hit it right on the number. I think it was $260 million.
yeah,
That's equivalent to a parking ticket for Live Nation. It's only 4 days worth of operating revenue. Like, look,
yeah.
people like us, working class people and listeners, normal people, Live Nation loves a $260 million penalty. They're like,
Oh,
thank
absolutely.
you. Because they're like, wow, this looks really bad. We got charged $260 million. That's
Yeah.
4 days worth of revenue. No fan got anything out of it. Luckily, state AGs continued the case, and actually took it to a jury verdict and found Live Nation, the jury found them guilty on every single count of being a monopoly. But the
No.
problem is they're not just a monopoly, they're a criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
So more investigations need to come out.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, so now it's going to what? There's 33 districts or whatever they're in that. So that's really, so that fine has been done. They were claimed the monopoly right, whatever that's whatever it is. But the reality of it is, so there's still a potential case for breaking Ticketmaster and Live Nation apart. Is that correct? Is
That
that
is
still?
correct. And that DOJ claim may not stick. The
Yeah,
judge in New York was pissed. They
yeah.
settled this case without the judge knowing and without the lead prosecutor for the DOJ knowing. So he's
Well,
pissed. He put this thing called the Tooney Act in. They're reviewing it, and he may not even accept that settlement that they took with the Department of Justice. But
right.
they make Live Nation Ticketmaster should be broken up, and it can happen by this judge if he decides to, and he can split the company into as many pieces as possible, and it needs
Yeah.
to be split into a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these things are obviously complicated, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you kind of get down in what I say, big business, right? I mean, we've been business guys for a long time. We kind of know how this whole stick works, but at the end of the day, when you start impacting, local, like you're in every like local city and local bars or local iconic music venues, some of them closed down here in Atlanta, iconic like local music venues start getting affected, then I'm kind of like, yeah, it's kind of bullshit, man. I mean, there's got to be a point where that it's got to stop, right? I mean, you can't do that. So I'm glad to see that, and hopefully the consumers, will not continue to get raped on this stuff, as well as the promoters. And if you're a promoter, you're an event guy. I mean, you're a local Jersey guy, New York guy. I mean, you're part of the community. You're local, right? Hey, I'm working with Tommy D, right? I mean, that when that side goes away, I mean, it's just, to me, like that's what's wrong with music today in my mind. I mean, the corporate side of music. You get the same bullshit. They're going to push whatever
Yeah.
whatever they want to do, right? They're not going to push who the best is. So dude, well, I'm grateful for your grit, and your determination. And I know it's caused obviously a lot of hardships with you. You're doing something that you love. You're on the front of your career, starting to take off. And as a business guy, I know what that's like, right? And when you get kind of left-handed in something, and you kind of get forced out of something, not because you weren't good, not because you weren't delivering. not because of that stuff. I mean, that shit sits in that sits in our crawl. So, like welcome to the Salty MF family, brother. I mean, well, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
so,
thanks. And everybody should have opportunity in music. Like I started from nothing. I worked my ass off to grow to the top. You know what? Other independent promoters deserve that chance. People's kids
absolutely.
deserve that chance. And people got should not be paying $1,000 a ticket because Live Nation and Ticketmaster CEO needs another yacht. Come
Yeah.
on. And I will
Yeah.
tell you this, when you're talking about the independent scene, last night there was pretty good news. Portland, Maine is the
Yeah.
last place in the United States where Live Nation is not in. And they went and battled the city and pushed them in city councils. Heavy lobbying money by Live Nation went in there to put this in.
Yeah.
They went in and they revolted, packed out the council meetings and said, "Screw this shit." I called for it. Vote your politicians out if they don't act in your favor. And guess what? They last night, Portland, Maine will stay free and be independent from Live Nation, the only place in the nation. So props to the Maine Music Alliance that got that done. Independent group organization, independent artists, independent promoters. So one
Good.
area is free.
Yeah, good for Portland, Maine. Look,
Let's go Portland.
those lobster fishermen are tough people, baby. Don't be messing with them. I love it. Good for them. That's awesome.
Don't fuck with the fishermen.
Well, people need to have more backbone, man. I mean, that's hard things. Like you just get rolled over. Like, and if you just, it's easy to accept it because it's so rampant. I mean, you could take this industry and you can put it in all telecom industry. You can go down the line. Right. I mean, this shit ain't new, but for all of these people out here that have aspirations to try to build a business, a small business, a good business or whatever, I mean, it's deflating, and it's, more people they need to understand, which I think what we've learned in this, cause we didn't know shit about the music industry. We're not music specialists. We're not in the industry. I think that's why we like it. Cause we're outside and we really don't give a shit what they're doing. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, that's taking your freedom. It's your freedom to live and do whatever you want. Some corporate dweeb, excited because you can pay $100 more in the front of the grass for parking. Look, dude, I just paid $1,000. Give me a friggin' parking spot. Don't geek me. Or if I want to pay to have special place to take a dump, right? I mean, holy shit. I mean, what are we talking
I
about?
actually said that because Michael Rapito, the CEO of Live Nation, he started charging for lawn chairs at amphitheaters $15 because he said it was a security risk. I was like, damn, what's he going to charge for toilets next? Call it a rent a Rapino and pay $1 to take a piss? I was like, shit, I better not say that because years ago I called out he was going to charge for lawn chairs and he actually did it. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, fans are gonna hate me. Now to go to the bathroom, they have to pay $5 for toilet paper because I said it. So Rapino, don't do that. You got enough money. I don't want all the fans
Absolutely.
mad at me.
Absolutely. You go into the emergency room and they give you an aspirin. It's $700. So, it probably costs them 2 cents a pill or something. Yeah. It's hosing the consumer, man. It's just, and also anyone around it that's trying to do a good job. I'm big local, we're obviously big on local and small business and like to
Yeah, I
see some
respect
of the,
that.
yeah, see some of these venues and stuff get squeezed. I mean, hey, what we've learned is not all these artists are millionaires and making money. Everybody has this kind of misconception that if you're a musician and you're good, you're making, a ton of money. And at the same time, it's the same thing as a guy that's running a local restaurant or bar or has music every, Thursday or Friday. They're doing all they can, right? Basically to survive and make a profit. So when you put these other kind of pressures on them that really have nothing to do with it, it's bullshit. So
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. And most of these artists aren't making money. Live Nation has two sets of books. One where they make, as NBC just reported, $15 million on the hundreds of shows. The other set with the artists, negative $1.5 million. So the artists struggle,
Yeah.
besides the top tier few, they
Yeah.
struggle real hard because Live Nation inflates all the costs and the goods, passes all the expenses onto them. It's just a simple racket, but it's not right for the artists. It's not right for the industry and the fans. Come on, what they're paying right now, there's no reason for it. My case
Well,
gets a jury trial. Ticket prices will drop 30 to 40% for the fraudulent evidence that I have on Live Nation's fraudulent accounting and racketeering,
that's great.
which
And then
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the NFL. I mean, let's shit on everyone. I mean, the NFL is blue collar, right? I mean, everyone's trying to take their family to go watch an NFL game, and you end up you take your family of 4 kids or whatever you've got, and it's a $2,000 event for a game. I mean, that's insane. I mean, it was built around blue collar community. Let people come, make money, whatever. It's already costing you $15 to drink a Miller Lite, for God's sake. I mean, if you got something, you got some
You
great
guys got better prices in Georgia.
yeah, you got some custom moonshine. It's $20 a shot. That's probably worth it. But it's a Miller Lite, dude. Call out to Miller Lite. But anyways,
It's a Miller Lite, and Live Nation's profiting off all of that, all the
yeah,
concessions, every single thing, and the artists aren't getting any of it. And those prices just keep increasing. Like you said, it's ridiculous.
yeah,
You pay $1,000 to go to a concert. Now you take your couple kids, girlfriend, wife, it's
yeah,
$4,000.
yeah.
Who can afford that? Now, the sad part is people think only the rich go. The working class go. They
Absolutely.
mortgage their houses. They miss rent payments. They skip car payments. They take out massive credit card debt. They can't go to concert for years, but they'll get to that show. And
Absolutely.
it's just, and then what do they not do? They don't go to the local scene.
Yeah.
Could you afford, most people afford $4,000 and then, hey, let me go to the local club and support my little local artist the next day? No,
Yeah.
because they're out
Yeah.
of money. It's too
Well,
much.
it's the executives taking their girlfriend to the Coldplay concerts and making out with them. Hey, just some advice to you fellas. That's a fucking dumb move, man. Don't do that shit. There's cameras
There's
everywhere.
cameras there.
Don't be surprised when your career gets ruined, bro. I mean, you're on live TV, dude. You're hosed. You're kind of a knucklehead. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think things like this. I mean, I don't think it'll be over. Live Nation isn't going to get hurt. Ultimately over this. Ticketmaster isn't going to. They're not going out of business over. But I think the point to hit it home is just like you said. I mean, I'd love to see Juice Entertainment get into the local live promoting some of these regional guys and us build a circuit of really cool venues across the United States. I don't care what the capacity is. I don't care if it's 200 or 1,000. I don't give a shit. Let's put something together because we know where all these good bands are, these independents now. We just happen to own this thing called Band Groupies, right? We know where they're at. And we know where the venue's at. So we need
Well, I
Tommy.
love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. And you know what? I would get involved with it if I'm calling the events Shut Down Live Nation. I'll do t-shirts, lower ticket prices, shut
Let's
down
do it.
Live Nation. You pay a fair price for the t-shirt to get in. We'll
Yeah.
take care of the artist. Everybody makes a few bucks. End of the day, it brings the message out because you know what? Real change can happen. With this Department of Justice case, it's not going to happen there.
Yeah.
But there should be a criminal investigation. The
Yeah.
information that I have, NBC exposed, and I don't know if you saw a whistleblower from Live Nation. There's never whistleblowers out of Live Nation. He just came out the other day in an LA Times story and accused them of financial fraud across the whole entire nation and world, massive. If
Oh,
this is
wow.
investigated, and you fans can go to their legislatures, their state AGs, like, listen, go investigate this company, or if you care about it, or I'm not going to
Yeah.
vote for you. If you're
Yeah.
not, if you don't care about it, don't do it. But
Yeah.
then real change could happen because if my information is exposed to trial, their top executives and CEO will be in prison. And that's why I continue my case. And I'm not saying that lightly. I've been battling this for 16 years.
Yeah. Well,
But they
hey,
will be in prison if it's investigated and it's exposed. But
yeah.
I'm loving the local scene. I'm loving what you're saying.
Yeah.
Shut down Live Nation parties. Lower ticket prices. I'm down to do it. It gets the message out. It helps the local indies. It helps the local artists, and that's what we need. We need
Absolutely.
independent promoters again. We need art. They developed the artists.
Yeah.
Artist development's been destroyed because the
Absolutely.
scene's been destroyed by one mafia. So
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing on that side, and I'll be more than happy to support it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, hey, our brand's called Salty MF. If you think we give a shit, you're. I mean, that's probably the dumbest name you could possibly name a brand. But we've had a little bit of trouble getting blocked on some stuff. But we're not crazy off the wall. It's just we're about entrepreneurs, independent people, musicians,
love it.
fighters, whatever, man. Working class people that are just they're talented. There's like I said, that we've had some artists in here, Tommy, that I couldn't believe it. Like I'm sitting here like going, holy shit. Like how is this person not famous, and some of them I won't call them out, but some of them are going on and they're reaching kind of a national stage, and it's really cool to see, like, these are hardworking people booking all their shows, doing all their promos, and working part-time, trying to do whatever they're trying to do. And it's really cool to see some good people and just hardworking people like make it in spite of all the bullshit that's against them, really.
Yeah, I like what you said, 'cause people don't really get that. Even the industry before Live Nation and Ticketmaster dominated it. For an
Yeah.
independent promoter to get big, to at least a level that I was at, to get to the top, and for an artist to make it, it's hard. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work. People just think that artists, they just show up, sing, yay, they're on top. No, they bust their ass.
Yeah,
They're busting
absolutely.
their ass, sweat, being broke,
Yeah.
struggling, working 7 days a week with it. It's not
Yeah.
easy. So you know what?
Yeah.
Respect any of the independents that made it, and respect any of those artists that made it, because they did the grind, you know? It
Absolutely. And I mean, hey, I mean, you were with some real cats from what I'm looking at. I mean, you're Snoop Dogg and Charlie Sheen and all that. I mean, you were right in there with some of these guys that would be legends in their industry. So I know that, I know you were that close to that real breakthrough. So that's the ones they get. They don't care about the people that are just making noise when you impact. So kudos to you for that, man. And anything we can do. I was excited to talk to you when your publishers, your guys reached out, because I was like, wow, this is a story people need to hear. They only see the corporate side. There's no face to it. There's no relationship or affinity, and that's part of the problem with how some of this shit can't get stopped, because there's no
Yeah,
connection. There's no connection to Tommy D. There's no understanding of him. And so people are like, yeah, yeah, that's, who cares, right?
yeah, I feel like I do agree with you. I feel like the humanity's been lost out of this,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna be. But I'm basically the poster child with the milk carton, like, when a kid went missing. I'm literally the poster child missing from the music industry. I don't wanna be, Live Nation made it. But yeah, I will say this, you are right. And I think that's a huge thing for me continuing and fighting on, is because I believe there needs to be a human face that
Yeah.
people realize, instead of just, hey, this person got screwed. They wiped out another 30 promoters. I'm only
Yeah.
one of their first victims, but the fans are victims every day. But
Well,
Johnny can't pay his rent. Well, there's no picture of Johnny,
yeah.
thanks to Live Nation. So
Well,
I think a face is important,
well,
even though I
I
don't want to be
Well, I've
it.
got a great national campaign now. We're going to do the milk cartons. Where's Tommy D and all the people? I mean,
Missing
we're going
from the music industry.
to, we're going to relive that. That's going to be a hit, brother. We're going to take the world with that. So, my producer wanted me, he reminded me, because I'm an ADD guy, but, so before you catch off, he wanted to say, how does being a promoter work? Like, explain the dynamics for people that don't know the underlyings of a promoter, just for the fans.
Yeah, so there's kind of tied in it before, when people look at when I was in the industry, I grew from nothing and I did get to the top. I was just getting plateauing to something bigger. But people look at it and be like, cool, you're with Charlie Sheen, you're with Snoop Dogg, you're with Chris Brown, you're with Tiesto, you're with Good Charlotte. Wow, you're just drinking champagne with Paris Hilton. It's so easy. And they're like, that's awesome. You're getting all these hot girls and you're just chilling. They don't realize the work behind it.
Yeah.
I was working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
To build it, you got to work really hard. But there's so much behind the scenes, from booking the talent. I'll go back from when I was industry, booking the talent, promoting the event, finding the right venue,
Yeah.
getting the right security in place, the marketing. This might sound easy. It is really hard. You're working around the clock on every single thing, from what type of alcohol is being served, drink specials, cutting deals with liquor companies, proper security, marketing blitzes, you name it, theme parties and an event. I was so big into theme parties. I learned, luckily, from this guy out of New York, the Sound Factory's owner, Richard Grant. He's pretty
Yeah.
famous. He taught me how to do it. I would work sometimes. It would take me a month to produce a theme party, because that's how much effort that would go
Yeah.
into it. So it's nonstop work, and the grind, street teams, getting flyers out, passing them out through college campuses, outside other clubs, organizing all that, doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Um, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. Finding the right talent to come
Yeah.
perform. You got to have an ear. You got to work. You got to go out to other venues. This is a nonstop game. So anybody that's made it, any promoter that's made it, I give them a lot of props and a lot of respect because it's not easy. And that's
Right.
one thing I'd say to any entrepreneur with it in the club world. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. I had to do it
Right.
from nothing. It's hard. But these days, it's really hard with Live Nation. But same for
Yeah.
artists. They put a lot of work in.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
I could
that.
talk for 2 hours about that. So I'm just
No,
giving
man.
you
Look, hey, we got into this thing, and I told you before we got on, we went to sponsor the Songwriters Festival in Fernandina Beach, and they had about 30 songwriters from Nashville, and some of these songwriters are amazing. You've never heard of their name, right? And because they're behind the scenes, and they were going through a very similar thing. Like when Spotify started, there was really no legal of how to pay the songwriter. So it was like 17-1 artist to songwriter, right? And so they've, through legislation, whatever, they've worked that down. You know, sitting there listening to these people, like who they had written songs for. I mean, the legends. And I'm just thinking, like, how come no one knows the story of these songwriters or what they go through or how they do it or how they get paid? And so we've kind of immersed ourselves into kind of, it's like we're newbies, right? We're like trying to learn. Okay, well, tell me about this. Like, how?
this is what we need though, Brad, because you need fresh blood and you need fresh eyes to
Yeah,
change the scene. It's
yeah.
good.
Well, I'm after it, man. And our saying is every local legend deserves a global stage, right? We're trying to find hidden talent
Facts.
and iconic venues and fans all over the world. But it could be you could be, going through the West Indies on a cruise or something, and you look on it and you say, oh, this little island has this cool bar. Like that's kind of what we want to bring, that real person, like you said, that humanity side, that connection side, that experience side back. And it doesn't have to happen in State Farm Arena. It doesn't
Yep.
have to happen in Gillette Stadium. It can happen, right next to you. Just most people don't, if you're traveling, you don't know, like, hey, where's a cool spot? What's a cool artist in the area? And so the whole idea was to bring that experience of when we were kids. I'm old, brother, but like when we were kids, going down to like Masquerade or someone here in Atlanta, just like hearing this band be like punk rock band, like, holy shit, man, these guys are awesome. And you wouldn't have heard them on the radio. You would
No.
have never found them. So we're trying to bring that back. So
I love that, and I love what you guys are doing because it's something I talk about all the time. Artist development has been destroyed by this corporate greed by Live Nation, and to help find these artists that they're out there and help bring their name out is huge. So I'm totally in full support of it. Love what you
well,
guys are doing.
well, Salty MF and Tommy D are on the Redemption Tour, baby. The
Let's
Redemption
go.
Tour, 227. We're coming out. Let's figure something out. I can tell you're a good guy, man. And just, I hate to hear stories like this. I mean, I know it gets a lot of press and all that stuff, but I just hate to hear stories about, because I've been a business guy. I know what it's like to have to bury something that you spent 5 or 6 years on, and it's crushing, dude. It's like it's crushing.
For me, 15 years since I was
Yeah.
actually longer since I was 16 years old. So
Yeah. Well, I heard your story, man.
yeah,
The world needs, the world needs hustlers, man. And I mean, I think hustlers kind of got a bad rap. People say hustlers, but the world does. You need hustlers. I mean, you gotta push your ideas. You gotta work. You gotta find somebody that believes in you. You gotta get that chance. And it ain't gonna happen because you put a friggin' TikTok video out. It's
nah,
not gonna
hustling's
happen.
what it takes.
Yeah.
Hustling, that's what it takes. That's what I said. For anybody that wants to make it, you got to grind. You got to hustle. When I first got called the grinder, I thought I was getting like, like they were smacking me. But then they were like, "Nah, that you're like hustling. You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're nonstop working."
It-
I was like,
uh,
"All right, cool, respect." Now I know what it means respect. So
Absolutely. Now
anybody
you
called a
can't.
hustler, you
Yeah,
are
you can't say
respected by
grinder
us.
anymore. That means something else.
Oh, does it now? I don't even know.
Times
Anyways,
have changed, buddy. Yeah, I'm an
I
old
didn't
guy.
even know what it
Hustlers.
was. I thought I was getting smacked in the face then, but then they were like, "No, that you're a hustler." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, thanks. You work hard. Thanks."
Hey man, the world needs more hustlers, more people with passion that are just pushing through shit against all odds. So I'm glad to see this come to fruition for you personally, even though may not be the outcome that's ideal. No one knows. It's kind of in the hands of that judge at this point. But like I said, these guys ain't going away. It's a blink for them. But the reality of fans and local music lovers and bands and these people, you kind of got to unite. You kind of say, hey man, we're in this shit together. Let's figure out some better ways to make this happen in these local scenes where we can impact it and where we're not going to be at a disadvantage. And until everybody kind of wakes up, like, you can go at this shit alone, man. But I mean, good luck. It's like I,
Alone, it's not gonna happen. And look, I go back to Portland, Maine. They showed it.
yeah,
Fans, artists, promoters, we vote. Live
yeah,
Nation spends a lot on lobbyists. They don't vote. So
yep,
you unite. You go to your legislatures. You go to your AGs. You go to your governors. You push it. This
yep,
was your city council. Say, hey,
absolutely.
we're not going to stay. You people want to be in office? Let us
Yeah.
have our scene. Let us have freedom. And you know what? I think this can be duplicated across the country
Yeah,
if the
absolutely.
fans unite and the scene
Absolutely.
unites.
And one of the things
And
when
they
people
say enough's enough.
absolutely. And people say, like, why did you guys kind of get to this like spot with music? And I'm like, look, man, music's universal, and it's a unifier. I mean, everyone likes some type of music. It's a unifier. It's something people can agree on. It's something people can gather together. You can have a guy that's in a business suit that loves Limp Bizkit and shit like that, and then a young punk rock kid, and it's a unifier, man. And so, you don't want people to take that experience, that unification away. And sometimes in all this, money chasing shit and greed stuff, it forgets really the true value of what music is, right? It's expression, right? So
Yeah, music is everything. And look, you're absolutely right because this is the only bipartisan issue that I know in the United States. And it's for a reason because music is a unifier.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, man, you've been awesome. And we were grateful for you to want to tell your story today. And it's amazing. And I definitely you're part of our family now. So we'll talk some more. I think we could probably do some funny shit regardless, right? Some good stuff that's awareness that I think it's nothing like being that poke kind of and stabbing the bear a little bit. We like to get into that shit. So we're not afraid to do it. So let's poke the bear a little bit. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I love it. Appreciate what
Yeah.
you guys are doing too. And
Yeah.
let's do that shutdown Live Nation lower ticket prices event. Let's
I
go.
love it. The
Let's go.
t-shirts coming out. We know somebody who can help with that t-shirt stuff.
All
So
right, cool. If you guys want to help out with that, let's do it. I'm all in.
well, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Dorfman, Juice Entertainment, really the man who took on Live Nation and made some impact, and he's been a big part of that. And I'm just grateful for you to express that. And hey, let's go out and change the world. Stay on here in a second, but for Salty, for Go Nation, that's it. We had Tommy D on. Look at his story, follow him, and maybe you'll see us on our milk carton campaigns in the next 6-7 months.
All right.
Appreciate
Well,
it, Tommy. Stay with me.
Thanks a lot for having me. And thanks, you guys, for watching.